What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Nick. This is Harlan, and I'm dressed up because I had an interview just a couple hours earlier before class. And so today we want to talk about the Kevin Love article coming out with his mental illness and why that's a big deal.
On November 5th, Kevin Love left the game at halftime. It wasn't really disclosed why he left. There was no injury. There's really nothing that really kind of let everybody know that he just left. Turns out in the article that he posted in the Players Tribune a couple days ago, it turns out that he had a panic attack. He couldn't breathe. He was just absolutely paralyzed, and he's never had this before. He always thought that mental health was like another person's problem and it never would affect him. Nick and I, we both think, and I'm sure a lot of people do, that this is a monumental sort of occurrence as far as like a professional player in the NBA field, a professional player in the NBA. Coming out and really, bringing to light, this sort of this mental health, this stigma associated around it, which is coincidentally exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to just bring to light that, again, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay that everybody's struggling for something, through something, whether you can see it or not, internally and externally. What really kind of spurred this whole thing was DeMar DeRozan's comment a couple weeks ago that he kind of talked about, everything's going through something, you just can't see it. It was interesting because, Kevin Love's 29 years old, and he talks about how he's never really even thought of this as an issue. He just thought, get through it, Kevin Love, a quote directly from the Players Tribune, is, "Be strong, don't talk about your feelings, get through it on your own." And, that's kind of just how men particularly do it. We repress our feelings, we don't talk about it. We don't think it's like the right thing to do. We're males, so we just got to get through it. We just got to be strong and just don't talk about it. Go to the next thing. You got more things to worry about. And with Kevin Love, he's been doing that his whole life. He's a professional basketball player, so you think, what does he have to worry about? He's making millions of dollars. There's nothing really for him to worry about. But when he had this panic attack, it just kind of really brought that to life. And we both think that it's like really cool, just that he's openly talking about this. And DeMar DeRozan, small forward for the Toronto Raptors, he kind of spurred this whole conversation going on. And I think that this is going to be sort of league-wide now. We see players talking about how they have therapists and stuff like that. And, Kevin Love, he goes on to say, not everybody should have a therapist. I think it's just important to recognize that, it's okay to, not feel right. Have something, wrong with you as far as mentally goes, a chemical imbalance, any sort of thing, even if you're just, sort of depressed. I think it's fine. It's all part of life. And I think it's important, it's just crucial that, Kevin Love wrote this article, and if you haven't had a chance to check out this article, I definitely recommend it.
We'll put a link in the description below. And part of the reason why we're saying this is such a big deal too is Kevin Love, a really popular, famous NBA player, came out about this. And so a lot of what we've talked about is the stigma around mental health and how especially guys are supposed to keep it to themselves. But seeing somebody who is this high celebrity talk about this makes it seem like, okay, this conversation is one that I can have with other people, because not only should I not feel insecure about it, but they might be experiencing the same thing as well. And that's kind of what Kevin Love and DeMar were talking about, is everybody's going through something, even if we can't see it. And of course, you have Kevin's family, DeMar's family, they're all going to care about how they're feeling. They're going to want to hear something's going on, and that's why the stigma of especially men keeping it to themselves, but also I know plenty of females who are afraid to talk about this, but this is a conversation we should be having, because think about your friends, your family. You would want to know if something was going on, and I'm sure a lot of you would want to help and help them get the help that they need.
And we both think that this is great, because this is how we kind of got together and started doing this video series, because we want to eliminate that sort of stigma associated with it. I mean, it can't be eliminated. I'm not trying to, overpromise or overdeliver anything, but we just really want to bring to light that whole stigma associated. We want it to be just, we just want people to talk about it. We want people to recognize that, I can talk to, my close friends, I can talk to my family, I can talk to my community about these sorts of things, because I just think, or both of us, we just think it's so important that this is something that really, bring to light.
So I think a big piece of this article is you see guys like Kevin Love and DeMar who are making tons of money in the NBA. Outsiders are going to think their life is great. The Cavs just won a championship a couple years ago. Like, what's wrong in their lives? And so obviously we see now with Kevin and DeMar, they're going through things that a lot of the public and even, like they've said, some of their family doesn't know. And so really the first step in this is just coming out about these mental health problems. Kevin and DeMar saying what they've experienced, and even like you telling people around you if you're feeling depressed, anxious, or any kind of mental illness you think you might have, or if you just need to talk to somebody. That's the first step, is letting people know. And then really the second is just having that back and forth conversation about what's going on and seeing what might help.
When you see your favorite athlete, you see it whether it's in the NFL, whether it's, you know, in tennis, whether it's NBA, whatever your sport is, you revere these athletes. You see them as, like, you know, Superman, Superwoman, you know? I mean, like Wonder Woman. You see them as a hero. And you see Kevin Love, you know, who just signed a max deal a couple years ago, like Nick said, won a championship a couple years ago. What could be wrong with him, you know? And, you know, I think we both think it's just huge that we're really humanizing these athletes. We can, you know, we don't know Kevin Love or DeMar DeRozan or anything like that, but it relates them to us because we can now assume that, you know, even people in such a successful position like they are, they have issues. Like they have, I don't mean to say that in like a sort of negative connotation or anything like that. I think it's huge that, you know, that they're talking about this, and I think it's something that we want to continue to talk about, and we want to, you just continue to get your guys' thoughts on all this, and I mean, it's... You know.
Yeah, so we really encourage you guys, if you are somebody who, male or female, who's felt similar to what Kevin Love said about you felt like you were supposed to keep these type of thoughts in, you could get it through it on your own, don't bottle it up inside and let things get worse. If you really feel like something is going on, talk to somebody, start that conversation and get it going. Whether it's your mom, your dad, or your friend, no matter how old you are, you don't know, they could be experiencing the same thing, and they're going to be glad that you reached out because they'll know that you are experiencing some type of problem, and hopefully you guys can work on a solution, whether it's together or seeking some kind of professional help. And kind of the next topic we want to cover is that professional help, because it seems like such a big step to go from just talking about it to maybe going to a therapist. And like Harlan said earlier, seeing a therapist might not be for everybody, but there's certainly proof out there that it does work for some people. And you don't know too. Your parents could have seen a therapist earlier in their life. Your friend could be seeing one and you don't even know it. It's really not that big of a deal. You're talking to someone, you're sharing with them your problems, and you're getting professional help. In the long run, it's a solution. It's not weird. There's nothing wrong with it.
And I mean, you know, that's really all we wanted to cover today. We really just kind of want to. We both read the article. We both think that it's it's just a great thing. Like I personally, like, you know, both Nick and I, we've you know, like we said, we both dealt with varying degrees of, you know, mental illness, and for Kevin Love to come out, and DeMar DeRozan previously to come out and say these things, like it's great, and we want to continue this conversation. We want to continue to get your thoughts. We want to just continue to, you know, have this discussion. So, you know, that's really all we have for you this week. I guess, you know, send us your thoughts, comments, whatever. And, you know, until next week.
Let us know anything about your thoughts, whether it's around this article, Kevin Love, DeMar DeRozan, anything about mental illness, questions you guys might have, further stuff you want us to look into, other articles, let us know, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon.